Welcome back to the Untouchaballs podcast. Caden and Leo here. Caden, how you doing tonight?
Doing pretty good, Max. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. It's a pretty all right Monday, I'd say. Just started the semester back up with classes, so it's going pretty well.
Yeah, I didn't really get a break like you, so I've been still having class. But yeah, it's kind of obviously getting to the end of that Christmas break time. And now,
Correct.
as this is an NBA pod right here, this is where the season really kicks off. Start
Yes,
the
it
new
is.
year, get into that latter half of the season. This is when stuff starts to really matter, especially for a lot of casual fans too.
Correct.
So we're going to start off like we always do with our Denver Nuggets, who, since we've last talked, have played 4 games. They're 3-1. We're going to start off, though, with this Celtics-Nuggets game where Jokic was a basically last-minute scratch because of his illness. It was just a weird game because it's, no Jokic, so you're relying on everyone else.
Correct.
It starts off really bad. Then they have an insane second quarter, good third quarter, really bad fourth quarter. It was just like, it's going to be really hard to beat one of the best teams in the league when you're missing your best player.
Correct.
And especially when you don't know how to shoot a three or stop the three, you're going to lose to the Celtics.
Not only your best player, but the best player in all of basketball. When he's not on the court, the Nuggets are just not the same team. And like you said, Caden, it's that roller coaster. It's that up and down. It's the inconsistency we've been talking about all year with the lack of shooting, the lack of perimeter defending, the lack of just want to on the defensive end of the basketball. It's inconsistent. But then on the second hand, when you are actually getting things going, you go on that stretch where you can win 3 of your last 4, excluding, that game with Jokic gone.
Well, yeah. Then you have the game against the Clippers that next day where you still no Jokic. They win this game by 23 over the Clippers. And they're 8-0 on the second night of back-to-backs this season. So if you see the Nuggets on a back-to-back, it'd be smart to bet them to win that game. They are 8-0 this year. Just killed the Clippers without Jokic, or 2-3 this season now without Jokic. Russ had a good game in that one. Jamal, good game. MPJ did well. Then on that Friday, you play the Nets. You're a big 15-point favorite. You do end up covering that.
Yes, you do.
But you made it a lot closer than you should have in that fourth. You have this huge lead going into the fourth, and you let these Nets go on like a really good extended run to start that quarter without Cam Johnson, who's their best player this year, and he's been out with an ankle sprain. So you let them go on this big old extended run, try to make it a little close. You do end up pulling away. It's just not what you want to see against a bottom-feeding team.
Yeah, okay, and you talked a lot about the little negatives. I'm going to talk about a little bit of the positives. One thing positive, Jamal Murray is potentially, starting.
He's getting more into form.
That's what I'm saying. He's getting more into form. He's starting to look a little bit like the Jamal Murray that we like to see during playoff time. So hopefully he starts to get going. But Russell Westbrook needs some credit here, Caden. He, since stepping up into the starting lineup, has been playing terrific, given really quality minutes, and at his age, really just having a rejuvenated, rekindled spirit. And you see it in the press conferences, you see it within the locker room, you see it within the fans. They like Russell Westbrook, and Russell Westbrook likes playing for the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, obviously Russell Westbrook isn't this otherworldly player anymore, but he's still a good NBA player, and you didn't see it show it there. And now he's coming into Denver, and he's really finding his place in this team. The fans are accepting him. The whole team's accepting him. They're finding ways to work together. So then, just yesterday on Sunday when they faced the Mavs, luckily we got Aaron Gordon back finally. He's on a little bit of a minutes restriction now as he gets back to full playing form, but
which is needed for him.
But so they had him coming off the bench. He still had Russ in the starting lineup, which I think should stay. I think once Aaron Gordon's back to fully healthy, just like we talked about last week, I think it was, just move Christian Brown back to the bench. But you have Aaron Gordon, who really helped solidify that bench. The bench unit played great. This was just a weird game for the Nuggets, kind of reminiscent of the Celtics game, but they were able to end up pulling out the win. This is a Luka and Kyrie-less Mavs. We're both out with injuries right now. And you go down 17 in the first half. You're able to come back. Then you're down 19 in the second half. And once again, you're able to come back. You win the game by 11. All around weird. Good game by Jokic. He had 18 boards, 19 points, 9 assists. Another pretty good game by Russ. Jamal, like you were just talking about, he really had a good fourth quarter in there to help him really secure that win. So it's just, it's good to see, obviously, Aaron Gordon back. But when you can have the bench actually gelling like it was last night to show that when Jokic is off the court, the Nuggets are still able to compete. There can still be a competitive team. That's really what you need to see.
Most definitely can. And that's what, the Nuggets fans have been accustomed to seeing these last couple of years, is a consistent team that's dominant on the offensive end and playing all right defense. once they continue to figure this out moving forward, I think we'll be looking all right.
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully, as Aaron Gordon gets more back to game ready and everything like that, everything can just start coming together so the Nuggets start making this push in the latter half of the season.
Correct.
Next team, though, we do want to talk about here is also in the Western Conference, and they've been putting a push on too, is the Sacramento Kings, who they fired Mike Brown on December 27th.
They did.
And since then, they lost the day after to the Lakers. But after that, they're in the midst of a 7-game winning streak right now, with wins over the Celtics, the Warriors, who have been falling off, but
Yeah, they have been.
They have a win over the Mavs before both Kyrie and Luka were hurt. They have a win over the Grizzlies as well. They've just been playing really good basketball, especially on the offensive end.
Caden, we've talked about, both of, I don't know, maybe you, but I've always liked, the Sacramento Kings team, just the way they're built up. And the firing definitely ignited something in that locker room. For whatever reason, it wasn't working out. I don't know if that's a scheme or a rotation issue or what exactly was going on in that Kings building, Caden. But as you've said, they're playing solid basketball. They're playing winning basketball. They're not shooting themselves in the foot. They're not making the mistakes that they were making previously. And going on a little run, they're giving themselves a real opportunity down the stretch to, be playing for some playoff spot.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be it seems like at least as of right now, they'll be one of those last seeds trying to at least get the 6 seeds so they can stay out of the play-in
Correct.
game and be able to, do that. But so, yeah, right now, while they're in the midst of this win streak, De'Aaron Fox, who obviously is their star player, their best player, who also has the NBA high 60-point game this season. He's been playing great. He's averaging 26 points a game on 48%, basically 49% efficiency, 6 assists, 5 boards. He's been great. And then your big boy center, Domantas Sabonis, who, he's fun to watch.
He's playing well.
He's really good, yeah. A little over 20 points. He's leading the league in rebounds per game at 14. He's also putting up 6 assists. Like, Domantas Sabonis is really one of these more well-rounded centers in the league. Obviously, he's one of the worst defensive centers in the league. Like, even Jokic has him beat defensively. But offensively, this Kings team is really starting to come together. They're starting to look really good. And you'll have other people like Davion Mitchell and stuff who can come out and give you threes.
Correct.
And also be your needed defensive wings. Like, this isn't a great defensive team really by any means. So you need their offense to keep being able to gel and be able to put up these high-powered points, whether it be De'Aaron, Sabonis, or something like that. Because, you have a poor defense, but the way they've been playing since Mike Brown's firing is that their offense has been able to overpower it.
Yes, for sure.
And then last thing we do want to talk about here is Paolo Banchero, who it's been a while since we talked about him.
It's been a long time.
He dropped that 50-point game. We talked about him. 2 days later, tore his oblique. And now, though, he's finally returned, and this is huge for the Magic.
It is, Caden. We've talked about this Magic team. We've liked them, but they've been hurting. They've been reeling. They've struggled during this time. They've been absolutely cooked with the injury bug. Banchero coming back, not only is it big for them, obviously, on the court, but off the court, in the locker room, his presence, the leadership he possesses, it's going to be big for the Magic just to get their spirits up, just to get a little motivation, a little hope that they can get this turned around in time, because this East is atrocious.